This is Professor Brian Domino back again with another installment of our ethics class. Today I'm standing in front of St. Joseph's Church in Esch-sur-Alzette, Luxembourg. In this module we're going to talk about the foundations of ethics, and this is a question that actually may have already occurred to you. You may have wondered, who is this guy Brian Domino to tell me what's right and wrong? I have my ethics, he has his, and that's the end of the story. That view is actually called subjectivism, and I'll be talking about it more later in another location, probably one that's quieter. A related view that you're probably familiar with is called cultural relativism, and this comes from anthropology. So if you've taken an anthropology class, you've probably heard that all cultures are equal. Some have different rules. There's no foundation that says one is better than another one. Okay, let me make this distinction about cultural relativism a little bit more concrete. I'm assuming that you're in the United States, which is a country that thinks it's morally wrong to eat horse meat, right? I don't think people just think it's disgusting. I think they think it's actually ethically wrong. Right now I'm in Luxembourg, and this is a country that thinks it's perfectly fine to eat horse meat. You can go into any supermarket and there it is. And the foundation of each is simply the culture. Luxembourgish culture says it's okay to eat horses, US culture says it's not okay. And again, I will talk about that view in a few minutes. Right now, the view I want to talk about is called absolutism, and this is actually the dominant view for most of Western history. And this view says that there's a foundation of ethics that states what's right and wrong, and that it's always been true. In other words, ethics is like mathematics. If I asked you what's 2 plus 2, you wouldn't ask me, well, what culture are we talking about? You wouldn't say that you have your view and I have my view, right? There's simply a right and wrong answer. It's 4. End of story. And for most of Western history, the most popular view is that God decides what's right or wrong. This view is called the divine command theory, and that's why I'm standing in front of this beautiful church. And the idea is something is right or wrong because God says it's right or wrong. This view has been very popular in Western civilization, but not among philosophers. The reason this view has never caught on among Western philosophers is because 2,500 years ago, Plato wrote a dialogue called the Euthyphro. And in this dialogue, he presents what has now been called Euthyphro's dilemma. And the dilemma goes something like this. Are our values right or wrong because God says it? And that's the only reason. In other words, is it totally arbitrary? So is it wrong to kill innocent people just because God said so and for no other reason? Plato thinks this is absurd because it's possible that God woke up one morning and decided, well, no, starting today it is okay to kill innocent people. Or in fact, you have an obligation to kill innocent people. And Plato just thinks this is so absurd that it can't possibly be right, so he doesn't really talk about it. So that leaves the alternative that God is just reporting what's right and wrong from some other source. So notice what that means. God is no longer the foundation of morality.